Hey guys, welcome to the Tactics with Trav YouTube channel where I'm going to teach you how to play chess. A lot of you came over from my sports post, how to play chess or why you should play chess. So just like sports, just like fighting, MMA, jiu-jitsu, the objective of this game is to kill the other person's king. So the strategy, the tactics, the maneuvering and how we get there, that's the key. And just like walking in on your first day of class, at a jiu-jitsu gym, for example, like you have no idea what you're doing. And there's plenty of black belts there and purple belts. They're going to look at you as prey. And you're going to get beat up and you're going to get thrown around. And I'm going to teach you and be your ally in this to be able to get you there eventually. And so let's just get into it. So chess is a game with black and white squares. In this case, I have a wooden board. This is atypical of chess boards. Normally, like in tournament games, you have green squares and white squares. But anyway, outside of the aesthetics, the point of the game is to checkmate the other person's king. And 64 squares, and the best move to start out with is e4. So this is the pawn. This is a pawn, and it's worth what we call 1 point. So there's a point value in these pieces because what you don't want to do, and let's just show this. So this is 1 point. This is 3 points. This is a bishop. It's 3 points. This is a knight. 3 points. This is a rook. This is worth 5 points. The queen is 10 points, and the king is worth the game. So he's not really looked at as far as being a fighter, although he does become a fighter later on in the game. So this is how you play. So when you open with e4, which is the best opening move for white, white always plays first. So if you're playing black, you play second. The reason this is the best move is because the bishops, which are 3 points, move diagonally like this. And the queens move diagonally like this as well, but they also move laterally. So they move sideways like this. So the queens are essentially the combination of the bishop, which is the 3.1, and the rook, which is the 5.1. They're basically the combination of those two pieces. However, because it's one piece, it's much more powerful. She's way more powerful than any other piece on the board. So you do not want to just take your queen, like when you open the game like this. You're like, oh, this is easy. I'll just use my queen for everything. You don't want to go like this. This is what I did on my first day of learning how to play chess when I was like 12 years old. And I rammed it right into the pawn, which is the f7 pawn. And I was like, oh, okay, I just want a pawn. And the kid looked over at me and he's like, you don't want to do that. And I was like, why? And he goes, because this queen is worth 10 points and this pawn is worth 1 point. So now I'm going to win the game because I killed your queen. So you have to treat your queen like she's the most important fighter. She's your Sir Lancelot. If you were King Arthur, she's your Sir Lancelot. You don't want to like take her in to take out a pawn because you're not gonna win the game. So you have to be much more strategic than just going for the rear naked choke. You have to set it up. You have to be able to move and wear the guy down and put him in side control and do all these things before you can even earn the right to checkmate the other person. So um, getting back from square one, e4 is the best move. Don't let anybody tell you any different. There's people later on, they'll say this is the best move. It's not. The best player to ever play, Bobby Fischer, said e4 is best by test. So best move. And your opponents, especially starting out at our white belt level, you're going to want to open on the black side who responds to white's first move with e5. This is a great place to start. So this is like learning your Kimura or armbar, or even lower level than that, like an Americana for jiu-jitsu guys, because you have to learn how to do those moves like at a lower level before you start doing those other moves later. And then what you do is you want to attack the pawn. So this knight that's on G1, this square has got a coordinate on it. So this knight that's on G1 is going to move to F3. So F is a file, 3 is the number. 64 square board. Every square corresponds to a piece and where its starting point was, its origin, and where it went. So knight g1 to f3. You'll learn that later, but this is just in my mind because I'm probably like purple belt level, like for chess, where or how I think. So knight g1 f3. I'm attacking the pawn on e5, and now black has to defend this attack, or they should. And what we want to do is we want to develop our pieces. That's one of the most important things to do in chess. You got to develop your pieces. So this knight, which for black starts out on b8, is going to move to c6, and it's going to defend the pawn on e5. So our knights are worth how much? 3 points. We don't want to kill this pawn, which is 1 point, and then lose it to the knight, which just defended it, because now they just got 3 points. So now we would have just put ourselves at a disadvantage. So we don't want to do that. And this just compounds, guys. Like this just keeps leveling up. So this is a great first move. That's a great defense. And then to start out, we should work on just like the Italian game opening. So every opening, as a chess player will tell you, has like a system. There's like a system and an order of moves and an order of operations, if you remember math, that you should abide by. Because what happens is if you don't do it and you don't abide by it, the other guy will beat you. And he'll know like something that you did wrong in the opening, like you didn't do this right, you didn't move your body right, like in jujitsu, and because of that, you're going to get submitted eventually. So one little thing can cause you to lose. So I'm going to teach you very powerful, surefire ways of doing this. So then this bishop, which is on f1, is going to move to c4, and it's going to attack the pawn that's on f7. So this pawn, by the way, guys, is the weakest pawn in the starting point for both sides. So correspondent to that, my f2 pawn is also my weakest pawn on my side because it can only be defended by the king. So with bishop to c4, black should respond with, say, bishop to c5. And that would be a good response. So this is called the Italian game opening. And then white, a good move for white would be something like d3 or possibly castle. So this is a special move called castling. And then after I teach you how to castle, guys, I am going to stop the video because I don't want to overload you with too much information. I want to do this in baby steps, just like in jiu-jitsu or MMA or some sport. Like you don't want to bite off more than you can really absorb too early. It's not going to sink in, and you need to be able to absorb the information. So now I'm going to go castles. So this is a special move in chess called castling. And so how it works is the king moves over 2 squares and the rook moves over 2 squares. And that's the only time the king can move more than 1 square. And then the rook just slides over. So in touch move, in the tournament chess later, guys, you have to move the king first. You can't touch the rook. So this king has to be the one to do it first. You can't touch the rook. So this goes over 2. This goes over 2. And the point and the reason why that matters is because black is going to try to kill my king, and I'm going to try to kill black's king. And if I don't get my king out of the center of the board, their army, their guys are going to come right down the middle and storm down the middle, and they're going to checkmate my king. So number one most important thing in chess is protecting your king. You have to protect it. So that's what I'm doing here. And then black is going to move, say, knight g8 to f6, and that attacks my pawn. So he's also developing a piece, and he's preparing to castle. So when he does this, I can either defend with like d3, or I could move my knight that's on b1 to c3, because in the beginning part of the game, guys, you want to develop your pieces. That's the most important thing. And so that would be, a decent move. And then black would castle like I did, moving over 2, and the rook moves over 2. So we're going to stop today's lesson with that, but this is a good opening to start with and to talk about, to teach how to develop your pieces, what the point of the game is, what you're trying to do, and and just where we're going to go from here. So anyway, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.